Everybody loves tomatoes, and today we're at Bloomsbury Farm near Smyrna because we want to learn more about cherry tomatoes. I've never grown them commercially, maybe have some Tommy toes by the front doorstep, but I wanted to learn more about the commercial production of cherry tomatoes, and I knew this was the place to come to learn. Robert, good to see you again.
Nice to see you, sir.
Yes. Well, this is a beautiful greenhouse full of cherry tomatoes. So tell us how you do this. When did you start this project here?
Sure, yeah. So we start these in our prop house while it's too cold outside. We do that kind of end of January, beginning of February.
Oh, wow, that's early.
Right, and then we will transplant them in the house as early as mid-March.
Wow.
But we have the greenhouse that keeps it protected from the cold, and then about mid-June they'll be ready for their first harvests, and then obviously by mid-July they are in full force.
Great, they look good, yeah. So just to go back to the start, how do you fertilize? It looks like you got some pretty good soil down there.
Yeah, so we composted all these beds. This compost is just a pure leaf compost, just decomposed leaves.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
These plants will be in here for a long time, so they're going to need a lot of organic matter to help keep growing. So it really helps. You can't put too much compost on these beds here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, compost is the secret to gardening, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and then you lay the landscape fabric down.
Right, we have this fabric here. This helps us not just for the weeds, but as tomatoes fall down,
they don't go on the ground.
Right, the fabric will catch them, and then we can take them out, because come November, all those cherry tomatoes that fell on the ground become your new weed for November. So this helps prevent that too. So we like to have a nice, colorful spectrum when we bring them to market. So we have the black cherry.
Let me see those. Are those? So they'll ripen a little more than that, or is that ripe?
This is about as close as it'll get to ripe. So almost like a dark heirloom color.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a brandy wine, doesn't it?
Yep. And then we'll do the sun golds. Everyone loves the sun golds. Super sweet for a nice red one. And then we'll do some green ones too, to kind of round out the color spectrum.
And these are what they call a cascading one. You pick the whole. Do you pick the whole bunch of those?
So this variety is called Rapunzel, and it's just known for having a really long fruit truss. So they'll still ripen like a usual cherry tomato, and we'll pick it normally.
So you don't pick them by the whole thing, you pick them one at a time?
Correct,
gotcha. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your trellising system here.
Sure, yeah. So the way we normally do it is what we call the Florida weave, with the 6-foot stakes pounded about a foot into the ground. And then as the plant grows up, we will twine about every 8-10 inches or so to keep it together, keep it off the ground. Mm-hmm. And then we are experimenting with what's called a lower and lean technique.
Lower and lean.
Lower and lean. So it will be we will prune it very hard to a single vine. Okay. Versus the other way where we kind of let it grow wild.
Yeah.
This way, it's a trial we're trying to see as far as production.
Yeah, I can see where you pruned it all.
Yep. So usually when these things get big and messy, it can take a lot of time to get in there and harvest everything, but this stays real clean. It makes for a fast harvest.
I see. And then you have to take this down every year?
Right, so we have a later succession of tomatoes outside, so we can pull these actually beginning of September, because we're going to want to get our winter crops into
this will rotate into winter crops.
Right, yeah. So, but we have an outdoor succession so that we can keep selling tomatoes all the way to the frost.
Right, so then you'll trellis those out there too. Yeah, and do you grow cover crops or just going to be like winter kales and things like that? We
typically don't cover crop inside the hoop houses. We like to keep those going. We'll do more additions of compost to make sure the soil stays healthy and has plenty of resources and doesn't get drained. But definitely out in the field, we will do either over winter cover crops or warm season cover crops too.
Yeah. And so, do you irrigate here?
Here, yes, we have a system called Rainbird that keeps it all automated. So we have the header hose and then your standard drip tape.
Okay, I see it there.
We'll keep it stapled so it's really close to the plant. And then that way it can give a really nice controlled water to the plant. Huge advantage with that, that you can really control the water, because one of the main challenges of growing them outside is the rain.
Too much rain.
Too much rain causes the fruits to split.
Yeah, we suffer from that quite a bit.
And then one thing for this year, we're dealing with a little bit of powdery mildew issue.
And is that this is a little white powdery stuff?
Right, this is the little white powder stuff here.
Yeah.
And what that will do is it can mess with the flower production. So if you see how the flowers have fallen off before the fruit can form,
Interesting.
Right now we're treating it with baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. That kind of keeps the leaf surface too alkaline for the fungus to spread.
What are the ratio? Do you know offhand?
It's a couple tablespoons per gallon. It's not a whole lot.
It's not much.
Yeah. So, but we're doing that pretty regularly. Once you get it, it doesn't really go away, but it helps manage it. So to keep it from affecting production.
Keep it from spreading.
Right.
Yeah. Diseases like to spread in tomatoes.
Yeah.
But Robert, I'm interested in how far apart these rows are and how far apart the plants are in the row.
So the rows, the plants are going to be 42 inches apart, so 3.5 feet.
The rows.
The rows, a pretty standard market garden spacing.
That's what we use.
And then the plants within the rows are for the twine trellising. Those will be 2 feet apart.
Okay.
And then with the single leader, the lower and lean, since there's a lot less vegetation, we can plant those a lot closer. Those are 15 inches apart.
Yeah. So outside, we plant ours like 4 feet apart each way, just to have more airflow around them. Because they're outdoors, we have to be careful with the diseases.
And our field tomatoes will be more 5 feet apart.
Get them far apart.
Yeah.
That way, if a plant gets a disease, it doesn't whip through the whole patch. Speaking of diseases, have you ever heard about shouldn't smoke a cigarette around your tomato plants?
I have, yes. In fact, that was the first thing that was asked of me when I was hired on the farm is, do I smoke? And if I do, could I not do it around the tomatoes?
Yeah, so that's because of tobacco mosaic, which affects tobacco and can even be in a cigarette that will get on your hands and you get in your tomatoes, it can spread to the tomatoes. And so that's because tobacco and tomatoes are in the same family. So great to see you here, Robert.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Of course, anytime.
If you love gardening, you may want to subscribe to this channel. We showcase gardens, plants, and the joy that gardening can bring.